we're working on this 70s Cordoba. So what we're doing on this car is what I like to call a resto mod.
It didn't take long for Matt Wetzel to become a YouTube star in off-road recovery. A lot of people watched his bold comebacks before he became famous, but he was just a normal guy from our town like you and me. The only difference is that he was born and raised in southern Utah and has a knack for fixing things, getting people out of trouble, and finding solutions. Please wait while we tell you a story. You may already know this story, but you may not have all the details about what happened to Matt from Matt's road recovery. How do you know Matt from off-road recovery? I think it's a horseshoe falling safety block. It's a lovely, sunny 40 degrees outside. I haven't seen any pictures yet, but I think the axle. That was Matt before he became a YouTube star. He was just a normal guy like you and me who loved helping people out of tough situations. Because he was born and raised in southern Utah, Matt knows the red rock tracks, dusty roads, and small towns. People in Matt's area knew him as the person to call if your car got stuck somewhere it shouldn't have been. He drove a tow truck and had a lot of knowledge because he had worked with off-road vehicles and recovery gear for many years. Now the full story, starting with his early life. Take a seat and enjoy it. Matt's early years and how he began. Wetzel. Matt grew up in southern Utah, near the Storm area in Washington County. There are red rock trails and dusty roads there. He was born and raised on a working farm. He has 8 siblings and is the big brother of 4. There are 7 girls and 1 brother in this family of 8. Both of his parents worked in agriculture. Matt grew up with farmers, crops, tools for growing crops, and wide open spaces. From a very young age, Matt helped plant crops, gather them, and drive farm equipment. Because he came from that kind of family, most of us know what he was supposed to do, like work hard on the farm. So he had to learn early on how important it is to work hard. People in the town knew that his family did specialty harvesting in southern Utah and up to Holden. They not only grew crops like barley, oats, wheat, milo, and rye, but they also picked them. Watermelons grown on dry land near places like Coal Pits, Mesa, and Canaan Gap. Matt did not go to college like most famous people on YouTube today. After high school, he went to work for his family, but it wasn't farming. Before that, he worked as a roofer for about 12 years. His next job was as an employee, and he finally teamed up with Adam Stout to start their own business, Skyline Roofing. Matt says that running Skyline Roofing taught him how to deal with people, manage people, handle money, and keep work on schedule. He often said that roofing wasn't his favorite thing to do, but it taught him a lot about business and how to be self-employed. You need to own a roofing business to make money, but Matt wasn't happy with it because it wasn't what he really loved. Around the year 2009, that thought changed. When he bought a tow shop's assets and opened his own tow company called Red Ryder Towing. He later changed the name to Winder Towing, and the business is still open today. Still, this first step into the world of towing helped him build what would become his off-road recovery business. His off-road skills didn't come from school, they came from his friends and adventures. Off-road rescue was shown to Matt by his friends, including kinetic energy ropes and special ways to get cars out of rough terrain. Not only did he enjoy getting cars back, he got good at it too. He started getting a reputation for being reliable and able to do the job even when things were tough. He also became interested in building and changing cars. His talks have shown that he did, in fact, often weld and fix up rigs back then. He calls it fabricobling. That means using experience and instinct to figure things out without making any written plans. Matt has stated that he likes cold weather outside of work and has said that he has a high tolerance for cold, which he jokes is like the Wim Hof method. The internet says that he also collects old cars, especially Chevrolet Corvairs, and is a big fan of them. Matt may have been successful in off-road recovery videos because of the way he works, the fact that he used to farm, his interest in fixing mechanical problems, and the fact that he stays cool. The start of Matt's off-roading adventure. People who know Matt Wetzel say that his quick switch from regular towing to off-road rescue wasn't something he had planned from the start. After about 12 years in the roofing business, 10 as an employee and 2 as a co-founder of Skyline Roofing, he changed careers in 2009 when he bought a tow company's assets. He first called his tow company Red Ryder Towing. Later, he bought out Windor Towing, which was also in the area. Around the year 2013, Windor Towing took care of everything from simple breakdowns in St. George to difficult off-road work close to hurricane. In contrast to most tow trucks, Windor was placed near popular outdoor recreation places. Because of where he lived, Matt often got calls for tow trucks that weren't able to handle them. This forced him to come up with new ways to help people and helped him become known as an expert in off-road recovery. People in southern Utah, especially around Hurricane and St. George, used these companies for basic tow needs. Matt is said to have noticed that a lot of his calls were from people who were stuck in remote or off-road places that regular tow cars couldn't get to. After learning from his friends and seeing them do these hard jobs a few times, he took them on. In order to learn how to do off-road recovery, he relied on his own experience and the advice of people who knew how to use kinetic recovery ropes, winches, and other unusual tools. He got better at getting cars out of deep sand, rocky roads, riverbeds, and remote backcountry areas the more he did them. Matt tried different things and learned what worked and what didn't. He worked on and built his rigs and attachments. Often he made changes based on what he had learned from previous rescues. In talks, he has often called this method fay-bobbling, which is a mix of fabrication and cobbling. It wasn't simple, but it worked. As the years went by and he did more recoveries, he learned a lot about the physics behind them, such as rope tension, car weight distribution, anchor points, and the stability of the terrain. He was able to stay calm under pressure, solve problems quickly, and make his own tools, which made him stand out in an area where not many people were experts. Matt's skills also grew and got better thanks in large part to the scenery of southern Utah. He had to think of creative ways to get around because the area has dunes, rocky ledges, dry riverbeds, and narrow paths. In places like this, standard methods didn't always work. For these reasons, Matt made his vehicles and changed them so they could do recovery jobs that regular tow trucks couldn't. He also didn't need big teams or expensive tools to get the job done. Instead, he used his creativity, technical know-how, and years of experience. Off-road recoveries grew into a big part of Matt's work over time. People started calling him for jobs that other people would avoid because they were stuck in situations they shouldn't be in. It was also fun to watch these recoveries, which became the main subject of his YouTube channel. But Matt was already known in the area as someone who could get you out of trouble when no one else could. This was before the cameras and the online viewers came along. His off-road rescue work began as a necessity and grew over time. The start of Matt's return off-road. Matt Wetzel's Matt's Off-Road Recovery YouTube show hit the air on March 28, 2019. There were times when Matt said in interviews that he only used his iPhone to record videos when he first started the channel. He sometimes filmed himself, and other times his wife or kids held the camera while he worked on the job. He has also given credit for the idea of posting about his healing on YouTube to a small group of close friends, including an airline pilot and a nuclear expert who pushed him to make his writing public. Matt talked about a mobile app called LumaFusion that let him edit videos right on his phone, even though he wasn't skilled in editing or production. He could make and post content more easily with this app because he didn't need a full production setup. In his first films, he showed real off-road recovery calls from southern Utah, showing cars that are stuck in sand, rocks, and other rough environments. The places where these jobs took place were generally out of the way, like around Sand Hollow and Zion National Park. His wife Jamie, their kids, dogs, and close friends like Ed were often with him. Each video from that time had an easy pattern. A call for help was the first thing that set off this trend. Going to the recovery site to show how ropes, winches, or custom-built rigs were used to pull the stuck car out. Some of his videos went popular and got over 1 million views in the first 6 to 8 months after he started the channel. As he had said many times in interviews, the growth came as a surprise to him, but it made him take the platform more seriously. In the beginning of the channel and off-road business, Matt still worked full-time as a tow truck driver and edited movies late at night. He said that at first he was able to post 2 or 3 movies a week, even if it meant skipping sleep. He had this problem until he met Daryl Eves, a YouTube expert, who he said helped him make the program better. He also said that one of the most important pieces of advice he got was to stop editing himself and put more effort into filming and building the content side of the business. Matt's team grew along with the channel, and the business became more professional. Google Ads, brand sponsorships, partner links, and selling things like kinetic recovery ropes helped them start making money. They even let people walk into a store they set up in their yard and sell gear and branded things. These days, that shop makes more money than the tow jobs they usually do. What Matt is known for doing. Since starting Matt's off-road recovery in 2019, Matt Wetzel has had a lot of success in business and online. There are now millions of people who follow him on YouTube, and many of his movies have been watched more than 1 million times. From simple recovery clips, the channel has grown into a full-fledged production that is regularly ranked as one of the most popular off-road and tow channels on the platform. Matt made a name for himself in business with his off-road rescue service. Shirts, hats, and especially his line of kinetic recovery ropes, which have become a trademark product tied to his name, are part of his goods line. Apparently, this line of goods has become so popular that his store in Hurricane, Utah now makes more money than his regular tow business. He has said this in interviews. People also know that he and his team often show up at off-road events and expos. Another big thing Matt has done is become well known in the towing and off-road communities. People know Matt and his crew as creators because they helped bring attention to a part of the tow business that most people had never thought about. He became known for coming up with creative ways to solve difficult recoveries, often using cars that he had built or modified himself. Matt has also been asked to talk about his life in public at events and talks. He has talked about his story at community events and some universities, talking about how he turned an idea into a business and how YouTube helped him grow it. Members of Matt's crew. The people who work with Matt on his off-road rehab are one of the best parts of it. At first, the show was just about him getting things done, but over time it changed and is now about the people who help him do those things. Ed, an older guy who became a fan favorite for being calm and patient, is the most well-known team member, not Matt. Fan pages say that Ed has a lot of experience and a dry sense of humor that works well with the often hard returns. People who watch the show have said that his thoughtfulness and steady hand made him one of the team's most loved members. Fans often say that he has brought knowledge and peace to the channel, which makes him stand out in almost every video he's been in. Rudy is another name you may know. Known to have joined the band later, but quickly became one of the most lively and fun people on the group. Rudy's fans love him for having a positive attitude, being funny, and being ready to help people with tough recoveries. His style and personality are different from Ed's, who is more calm. This gives the show balance and variety. Jamie, Matt's wife, is part of the group even though she isn't always on camera. She helps with planning, shooting, and running different parts of the business. She also sometimes helps the team make rescues, which shows she isn't afraid to do the hard work when it's needed. When they need less work, like when they are recovering, their sons sometimes join the team and make it feel even more like a family. In addition to the main crew, there are also mechanics and friends who help out when the jobs get harder than normal. The group they're in is more like a family than a workspace. Fans have said that events like this are one reason why the channel seems so real in their comments. People who watch are not only seeing a business at work, but also a close-knit group of people who like and trust each other at work. The bright yellow Jeep Cherokee XJ is important to Matt's team and his business. In the beginning, the Jeep was just a tool for the job. Now, it's an icon of the channel. As the show went on, Matt made a lot of changes to it, like adding firmer suspension, recovery winches, special recovery points, and rigs that were made to handle sand and rocks. Fans quickly linked the yellow Jeep to the channel, and it quickly became one of the most recognized off-road cars on YouTube. Even though Matt has tried out different rigs and builds, the Cherokee is still the one that fans are most interested in. Matt now lives in Hurricane, Utah with his wife Jamie. They are raising 4 boys together: Colin, Rhett, Carter, and a 4th son whose name isn't always talked about in public. Is there another son named Rudy that Matt has from a past marriage besides these 4? Rudy is a native of both the United States and Canada through his mother. He had a different childhood than Matt, but he has always been a part of Matt's family. Matt and Jamie have been married for about 20 years. Matt says that their relationship is often described as stable and helpful. Jamie shows up in the background of the channel every once in a while, but her main job in his life has been to help the family and the business. Their kids also help out in the store sometimes and show up in movies. Matt has been very careful to keep most of their private life off of the internet, though. Matt doesn't just think of his blood cousins as family. His team also includes people who have become so close to him and are always with him that he thinks of them as family. In this case, Ed is a much-loved member of the recovery team. Ed and Matt met for the first time when Ed was living on a house that Matt had bought. Matt did something that most people wouldn't have done. Matt didn't kick him out. Instead, he invited him to hang out. Over time, Ed became a friend, brother, and partner that people could trust. Lizzie is another well-known face on the show. She is not Matt's biological daughter, but she has been a part of his life since she was a child, because she is the daughter of one of his close friends. She is part of the family business and has become important over the years. Fans like how Matt's off-road recovery feels like a real family-oriented place, because the crew is very close to each other, whether through marriage, children, or lifelong friendships, lawsuits, and disagreements. Even though Matt Wetzel's channel and other businesses have done well, he has been in legal problems that has gotten a lot of attention. The Office of the Utah Attorney General charged him in 2021. The charges against him are for insurance fraud, and the case is about his business, Winder Towing, which he ran along with his YouTube program. His lawyers said that between 2018 and 2020, Matt had sent many fake claims to the AAA insurance program. Based on the evidence presented in court, the accusation said that his company billed AAA for services that were either not completed or claims that were exaggerated to get more money. 1 count of insurance fraud, a second-degree felony, and several other connected felony counts were brought against the person. Matt pleaded not guilty to the charges at the start of these trials, and the case got a lot of attention from the media. Matt was already well known on YouTube and in the off-road rescue world, which was one reason. Matt had built a reputation for being honest, hard-working, and community-focused by 2022, so we know that his fans were shocked by the news. However, it was confirmed that Matt had made a plea deal with his prosecutors. "I'm his deal." He agreed to plead guilty to a charge of insurance theft that was milder. In exchange, the authorities were supposed to drop the other charges. He didn't go to jail, but instead was given probation and told to pay back what he owed. His supporters were happy with the result because he could keep running his business and YouTube channel without going to jail. Even though the legal trouble was a big setback, it didn't end his career, and his friends still support him. Matt has talked about the event in interviews as a lesson to be more careful when running a business. The case showed one of the many risks of running a business that is growing and how important it is to follow the law, what the scandal did to his job and public image. Matt Wetzel's legal problems made people seriously question his image, which he had worked hard to build over many years, and its future. When the fraud charges were first made public, some of his watchers were upset and worried, according to Reddit threads. Some people were worried that the accusations would hurt Matt's work and reputation. His channel was built on faith, honesty, and working together, which made people afraid. If he built his channel on these traits, then being accused of cheating on his taxes was a big blow. It didn't take long for his critics to start asking if his public persona fit the way he did business online and private. There was also talk about whether the station would lose advertisers or viewers. But the legal issue didn't have as big of an effect as some people, especially critics, thought it would. Many of his loyal friends stood by him on and off the site, saying that everyone makes mistakes, and that the fact that he was charged less and given probation showed that he was willing to take responsibility. Matt's reputation was fixed because he didn't have to go to jail and could keep working. His channel has kept getting more watchers, and the recovery jobs have stayed as entertaining and educational as ever. The trouble almost brought his fans closer together and made the group bigger. The fact that he overcame the problem rather than seeing it as his downfall is likely what many people thought. But the legal trouble he was in can be seen as a turning point because Matt became more careful about how he talked about his business deals, which made them more open going forward. It was either a part of his story or a stain on his career, but the case did not stop it. It instead showed how a strong group of fans and regular videos could help him stay one of the most well-known off-road recovery figures on YouTube, who he is now and what he wants to do in the future. As of now, Matt Wetzel is still the face of Matt's off-road recovery. He runs his towing business and YouTube program well without any new problems. He had some small setbacks in his legal case, but his channel has become even stronger since then. Since the event, he has gotten millions of followers, and his videos regularly get between 100,000 and 1 million views. The channel's material is still mostly about finding and helping cars that are stuck in the deserts and mountains of southern Utah, but the production quality has gotten better and the team has grown. Matt's wife, Jamie, and his kids, who sometimes help out in the shop, have also been very important in his life. We've heard him say many times that Jamie always supports him in the background. Ed and Lizzie, 2 team members, have also become very important to the channel's goal of making the business feel more like a family-run business than a tow service. People can relate to the station because the crew is very close, which is one reason why it's still so popular. From the tow company to the channel, the business has made Matt a lot of money. The channel and the tow company have given him security and success. His name has also led him to work on merchandise and other projects. He lost some respect during the fraud case, but he has since made up for it, and his ability to heal and move on has kept his business going. Wikitubia says that people now see him not only as an expert in off-road rescue, but also as someone who has had problems, admitted them, and kept going. It looks like Matt Wetzel thinks that the future of Matt's off-road recovery will be about growth, both in terms of business and programming. He has suggested that besides the famous yellow Jeep Cherokee XJ, more rescue rigs be built and changed. Also, making unique cars is one of the things he's always working on, and these vehicles are made to recover people in harsh situations, which Wikitubia says is something that a lot of his fans are interested in. So he says, these builds aren't just for show. They're meant to see how far rescue gear can go in sand, rock, and backcountry conditions. Aside from Utah, the team has also talked about the idea of Matt going to other states to do repairs. Wikitubia says that his fans often tell him they want to travel to places like Arizona and Nevada, as well as places in other countries. Matt hasn't said this for sure, but it's clear that his fans want to see him test his skills in new places. Ed says that this kind of growth would make the channel more popular and show that the recovery methods created in Utah can be used for other off-road tasks. Wikitubia says that fans have said that Matt Wetzel could also progress in the areas of schooling and training. Even though his videos are already fun to watch, many of his fans have said that they also watch them to learn something useful. As Matt's kinetic recovery ropes, winches, and other recovery gear become more well-known, he has naturally built an image as a teacher and a leader. People respect how he makes calm decisions under stress, how he can improvise in dangerous situations, and how much he cares about safety. A lot of people watch his program for more than just fun. It's a way to get ready. Fans have said that the next step should be to turn this unstructured learning into classes, workshops, or even online training programs that can be used by people all over the world. Think about recovery boot camps in Utah, live demos at off-road shows, or in-depth online lessons where Matt and his team break down safe winching techniques, recovery angles, or how to handle an emergency. These kinds of projects could help him keep his job as an off-road artist and teacher. The fact that Matt is so popular on YouTube right now shows something strong. Even after a lot of trouble, a job can be brought back to life with hard work and help from the community. Many people who make content would have given up when they ran into legal problems, public criticism, or financial setbacks. On the other hand, Matt relied on his best asset, his community. His fans backed him up. His family stood by him, and people in the area wouldn't let his name go down. In a time when cancel culture often shapes careers, his story became an example of how to keep going. He is still one of the most well-known and important people in the off-road and car YouTube communities. His channel keeps getting more followers. His business for healing is still busy. People still think of him when they need help, depend on him, or see grit. Matt Wetzel has shown through his actions that hard work, family support, and never giving up can turn local work into a global name at every step. What started as recovery jobs in small towns taped with simple tools has grown around the world and inspired millions. Matt has not shrunk away from the attention, even though he has had legal setbacks. He keeps working to improve his business, grow his channel, and leave a lasting mark in the off-road world, where people value and need his presence. He has helped save lives by getting better. Many people who want to go off-road have learned from his films, and his gear has made saves that were dangerous safer. His story is not over yet. If anything, the bad things that happened in the past have made him more determined. Fans don't just watch him when he gets better anymore. Their attention is on the story of a man who won't give up, who believes in second chances, and who keeps pushing the limits of what off-road recovery can be. Matt Wetzel's story is still being told, whether it's through entertainment, education, or new ideas. And as things happen, one thing stays the same. His friends will be there for him every step of the way. How do you feel about this story? Please tell us what you think in the comments, and don't forget to share this video, like it, and follow this channel. Please click on the movie that is shown on your screen before you leave.